one we kind of already talked about, which is the double read, like the need to just read things multiple times. Mm-hmm. And I put it in here because to me it was like almost like common sense. Like, well, of course you have to read things more than once, but it's one of those things that I know it because I know it. Mm-hmm. And when I've talked to other parents, like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I'm like, okay, I need to make sure it's in there. As a starting point, we need to make sure that we're reading things multiple times because we tend to do it naturally. Like if we read something, like, wait, what? We go back and we reread. So when our kids don't understand it, we start to panic that they don't understand what they're reading instead of saying, okay, we'll read it again. And so start there. Start with at least a double read, if not a triple or quadruple or, you know, have them read it multiple times. And that's easier with like short. Right, exactly. One of my suggestions is if you're reading like a novel with your child and you guys are kind of reading it together, or even if they're just reading it on their own, you could also play the audiobook for it when you guys are driving in the car. So they've already read it themselves, and now they're also hearing it again, kind of reinforcing it. And
never thought of doing something like that. Yeah.
And also, you know, if they were reading it all by themselves, now they're hearing how to pronounce those words that maybe they kind of fumbled over when they were reading it by themselves. So they're going to get that reinforcement of that comprehension. And maybe it's after they've completely read the book, or maybe it's, you know, they read a couple chapters and now you're going to listen to the first 2 chapters as they go. You know, you can do it either way. It can also just be as you're reading with them that you have them go back and reread the pieces that were a little confusing to them, or you offer to read part of it out loud to them if you are trying to have a conversation about it and they seem confused. Right. Okay, let me reread that section. And you're just reading it, but out loud. So then they're hearing it again. They're getting that extra ability to process it. So, So yeah, we want to just make sure we're giving them enough exposure to the text that they have a chance to process that language and comprehend it. Yeah. I think we often think that our kids are just going to learn it the first time through, and that just isn't true. It's the more the repetitive instruction, the kind of the neurodevelopmental approach of let's teach, and then a little bit of test, because if you get enough in, the output will eventually come. It's just we have to make sure the input is there. And so, yeah, it is frustrating as a parent, though, to read over and over and over because you will comprehend it the first time around. I just remember those books that I found like after my kids got older, and the pages were so worn because we read through those books so many times. But they had complex words oftentimes in them. And so they were great. I think it would have helped me to know, oh, I'm improving the vocabulary. I'm just not reading the same book over and over again. So that's helpful for my mindset. Yes, great point. Yeah, it definitely is helping in so many ways.